Hello, good morning, everyone. So I'm here to discuss the Chapter 3, Introduction to Agricultural Commodity and Entrepreneurial Development. And our topic for Chapter 3 is about agricultural commodities exchange. Okay, in this chapter, we will define the commodity exchange and identify the problems on a commodity exchange that can address to economic. Okay, so again, agricultural commodities exchange. So agricultural commodity exchanges are typically associated with efficient and sophisticated markets, providing the valuable benefits such as price discovery, publicly available market information, contracts for minimizing price risk, and low transaction cost of exchange, and of course, the insurance against the potential opportunistic behavior of the trading partners. Now, what is a commodity exchange? A commodity exchange or COMEX is an entity, usually an incorporated non-profit association, which determines and enforces the rules and procedures for the trading of commodities and related investments, such as commodity futures. So commodity exchange also refers to the physical center where the trading takes place. So physical center na siya kung asa ang trading ang pagbaylo sa mga goods and services na hitabo. And a commodity exchange is an organized marketplace where the buyers and sellers come together to trade commodity related contracts following the rules set by the exchange. So a COMEX or sa atong ginatawag na market, mao na siya, same na siya. So the third definition, which is kining third definition nato, no, organized marketplace where the buyers and sellers come together to trade the commodity related contracts following the rules set by the exchange, tells us that for an exchange to occur, there should be at least two parties. Of course, pag exchange sa atong commodities, dapat na duha ka party, which is the buyers and the sellers. So di siya matawag nga exchange kung walay partner. Okay. The buyer and sellers exchange the contract but not the actual product. So, sa katong third definition, pasabot adto ang buyers and sellers nag-exchange lang sa contract, dili ang ilang actual product. So meaning ana, not the commodity itself okay ang ilang exchange but the contract na ay kontrata nga sila na ang buyers o sila na ang sellers. And the two parties should have common language. The two parties should have something valuable to each other. The two parties should have mutually agreed currency, and some rules should follow by both parties unless punishment. So na quantity demand, time of delivery, the place of delivery, the quality, and the commodity category. Okay, so modern commodity markets began with the trading of agricultural products such as corn, the cattle, the wheat, and the pigs in the 19th century. So modern commodity markets trade many types of investment vehicles and are often utilized by various investors from the commodity producers to investment speculators. So for example, a corn producer could purchase the corn futures on a commodity exchange to lock in a price for a sale of a specified amount of corn at a future date. So while at the same time, a speculator could buy and sell the corn futures with the hope of profiting from the future changes in corn prices. So muna, nagsugod sa pag-trade ng commodity markets, trades, agricultural products on the 19th century. Okay, for the future date, sumatang atong mahibalan nga say kalian sa stock exchange o sa commodity exchange. Okay. So what are the traded commodities at the commodity exchange? So we have these three categories. First is the natural produce of the soil. Katong atong natural nga gi-produce ng gikan sa soil, of course, the cotton, the wheat, the jute, and others. Napod tayo mga mineral products. Okay, the mineral products like copper, the gold, the mica, the lead, and other minerals. And we have the manufactured products like gunny bags, clothing, hides, artificial jams, and other manufactured products. So all types of commodities are not fit for dealing in the commodity exchanges. So, dili tanan commodities, okay, or dili tanan fit nga commodities nga adto nato sa commodity exchanges. Okay. There are product characteristics that are fit for the commodity exchange. No. Naalang gyud ginapili nila, so naay characteristics sa product na pwede nato adto sa commodity exchange. So first is the homogeneity. So the commodity must be homogeneous. Same dapat. So all units of a particular commodity must be perfectly identical so that all dealers may mean the same commodity when they mention it in their dealings. So homogeneity, example, ang imong product, same size, same color, same variety. So yung ang characteristic nga fit sa COMEX or the commodity exchange. Second characteristic is the durability. It must be durable so as to last for a period of a future contract. So ordinarily, more than 1 year. So if it perishes rather quickly, contracts for its purchase and sale will be frustrated. So durability sa imuhang product. So for that, diri at durable as to last for a period of a future contract, ordinarily more than 1 year. So dapat product nga basig dali ra malata, naamang gid na mga agricultural products sama sa cabbage o sa panadya, kamatis may ana. So dapat imong product durable within 1 year. Okay, kung dili na siya, of course, frustrated ang contract or sa pa na siya diya, magamay or something yung contract, something discouraging na, di ba? So third characteristic is the gradability. The commodity should be such as will lend itself to grading. If the commodity cannot be classified into well-known grades, so the trading will be difficult for every time the quality will have to be ascertained. Okay. Dapat classified into well-known grades ang imuhang product. So sa pag-classify anang product nimo, naman tayo grading, di ba? Mga grading sa pag-grade sa ato ang product. So dapat same siya. Kina-grade ka same size, same small, medium, large. Dapat nga na siya para fit na siya sa ato COMEX. Di na kamatog product kalalag size nga wala po nimo gisort, dili po na pwede. Then ikaapat, open supply. So the supply of the commodity should be open and free and should not be monopolized by one or a few persons. Again, the supply of the commodity or its price must not be controlled by the government. So open supply lang. Again, the price dapat dili controlled sa government to. Parang ang ilang gusto is, okay, sabot ninyo, depende sa inyong contract. Mamana siya ang sa commodity exchange for the future contract. So open supply lang dapat. Dili monopolize bitaw mahalon gyud nako na or nga na siya. Kay kawra isa nga supplier ana, so di pwede. So ikalima, ang price fluctuations. There must be frequent fluctuations in the price of the commodity. If there were no price fluctuations, the speculators would have no intention to speculate it at the exchange. Okay? Price fluctuation. Again, ang fluctuation mao na ang pagtaas mubo sa presyo. Dili dapat para magkaroon na pag na same price na siya. So price fluctuation ni taas, imubo, mubo pag yun, ni taas balik, mubo gamay, taas na pod, so nga na ang fluctuations. Kaya sa kurente fluctuate pag palong siga, so nga na ang fluctuations. So mao na ang product characteristic no. Again, ang first na to is the homogeneity, second durability, third gradability, four open supply, and the fifth is the price fluctuations. So objectives of the commodity exchange, its objectives are to provide an open platform for the interactions of the free play of the forces of the demand and supply. It only registers the prices reflecting the forces of demand and supply. So buying and selling, trading practices and actual working of the organized market are governed by a code of the rules and regulations, and this can ensure fair dealings, fair prices, and the equity. So manang objectives atong commodity exchange. Provide an open platform for the interaction of the free play of the forces of demand and supply. Now, the nature of commodity exchange, best facilities available for close and continuous contact between the total demand and the total supply, both present and potential. So, muna nature sa commodity exchange, dapat best facilities available. Second, all businesses are governed by the rules and regulations, and these rules are strictly enforced by the exchange authorities. So strictly enforced dapat na siya nga mga rules no sa businesses. Third, usually the exchange enjoys the internal autonomy and it is self-regulated, self-administered, and self-disciplined autonomous body. At present, almost in all organized markets, there are special legislations to control the activities of this organized market. Fourth, there is a free competition of the buyers and the sellers. So the forward markets for commodities and securities are also known as the two-way auction markets. So open public outcry gives offers and of course bids by the sellers and the buyers. So they also use the finger signals to declare their prices and amounts. So pag bids, pre-competition, ginabidding ay imong product, ang imong commodity. That price. So, taas lang, marag na ilang hand signal na ginagamit or finger signal. Okay. Fifth, every forward market has a clearinghouse organization to facilitate the clearing of all dealings under settlement. So, the clearinghouse guarantees payment of dues and taking and giving of the delivery of commodities or the securities during the settlement period. Okay, na yung mga clearinghouse organization. Sixth nature, an organized market acts as a clearinghouse of market information. So dapat nag-act siya as a clearinghouse of market information. So that is collection of all facts and figures and regular publicity of all relevant statistical information which helps the traders to estimate and forecast the price trends, changes in demand and supply, and the constant price quotation services enable people to make their purchases and sales with certainty and confidence. And the seventh, the speculative trader is a necessary and vital part of any broad and stable commodity or securities market. So speculation is an integral part of market mechanism, whether in stock exchange or in a commodity exchange. Okay. Now there are functions of this commodity exchange. What are the functions of the commodity exchange? Of course, first important is provide a marketplace. So nga na may commodity exchange, of course, to provide a marketplace para diha ang pagbaligya sa mga commodity. So, commodity exchange provides a convenient place where the members can meet at fixed hours and transact a business in a commodity according to a certain well-established rules and regulations. And this type of facility is a very important for trading in such commodities as are produced in abundance and cover by a very wide field as far as trading therein is concerned. So mao gid na, provide a marketplace. Mo nang first no function sa atong commodity exchange. Second, of course, regulating the trading. As organized market, commodity exchanges establish and enforce the rules and the regulations with a view to facilitating trade on a sound lines. So the rules define the duties of members and lay down methods for business transactions. Okay. Third function is collecting and disseminating the market information. Mo po ng importante na market information. So the buyers and sellers in the commodity exchange enter into the deals for settlement in future after making an assessment the trends of price and the prospect of a rise or a fall in the prices of a commodity. So the commodity exchange act as an association of these traders collecting the necessary information and relevant statistical data and publishing it for the benefit of the traders all over the country. Fourth function is grading of commodities. Anong function sa commodity exchange? Commodities which are traded on the commodity exchanges have to be graded according to quality. So dapat gina-grade yun ang commodity or our product. So in this manner, the dealers can quickly enter into agreements for the purchase and the sale of the commodities by descriptions. Fifth is settling the disputes through arbitration. So the commodity exchange provides machinery for the arbitration of the trade disputes. Now the services of this COMEX, first is the exchanges provide a ready and continuous market for the purchase and sale of the commodities. So the producer is enabled to be independent of the middlemen. Second, by providing hedging facilities, the commodity exchanges reduce the effect of fluctuations in price. And the COMEX provide the producers an opportunity to transfer the risk to the professional risk bearers. Okay, and the fourth, by providing continuity in the trading of commodities, the commodity exchanges induce the bankers and financiers to lend against commodities. Okay, the COMEX provide facilities and opportunities for arbitrating and thus equalize the price levels of the commodities, the various centers. Now, what are the problems can a commodity exchange address? Ano mga problema nga ang COMEX maka-address? So, commodity exchanges can reduce the cost and risk of transacting. Okay. Makapagamay siya cost o risk sa pag-transact, no? Second, they can provide the valuable public information such as the prices and the volumes of the trade. Third, in many indirect ways, they can encourage the financial sector to invest in agricultural value chain development, improve the farmers' access to markets, reduce the marketing margin, and encourage the agricultural productivity growth. Okay. So first problems is the high production and marketing cost. Muna ang ma-address na sa COMEX, high production and of course the marketing cost. So the COMEX are unlikely to bring about the major reductions in the cost of inputs or improvements in the availability of a new farm technologies. However, well-functioning COMEX could reduce the transaction cost and risk of exchange and thereby shrink the wedge between the prices received by the farmers and the prices paid by the consumers. So if the commodity value chain is competitive, then the reduction in marketing cost at the various stages of the system can provide important benefits to both farmers and consumers. So COMEX leads to the high production and lower transaction cost by maintaining on sayang ilang buhaton, maintain the organized and planned effort and using the resources in a common vehicles, inputs, showrooms, warehouse, or storage. So muna ang first problem. Second is constrained access to credit. So CE or the COMEX rarely provide credit directly to the farmers. So COMEX can support the development of warehouses, receipting the systems, and which can increase the supply of a credit finance to traders. Indirectly then, by increasing the supply of credit to assembly traders, the farmers operating in a competitive marketing environment may receive more seasonal credit from the traders. So these connections between COMEX and the farmers' access to credit and indirect and contingent on the behavior of market intermediaries, yet potentially quite important. Third, limited availability of a new farm technology. So the COMEX cannot directly support sustainable agricultural intensification or the new technology generation. In cases where a virtuous cycle of investment in a new technology, productivity gains and wealth creation has been achieved, then the COMEX can indirectly but potentially substantially strengthen this kind of virtuous cycle. So the main point is the COMEX cannot encourage the farm technology investment and productivity growth directly, but can indirectly promote such processes in a favorable enabling environment where there are already positive incentives for investing in the agricultural system. Fourth is the price volatility. With that said, COMEX can provide risk management tools that allow marketing actors to hedge their positions in future crops. So mature commodity exchanges which price and sell risk through future contracts, for example, can also make the financing of the farm inputs and fixed agricultural assets less risky for financial institutions. And the COMEX management entities that understand the risk management requirements of the traders, the farmers, and financial institutions will be in a relatively good position to develop the services and incentives for these actors to want to trade on the exchange. And the five is the farmers market access condition. So the COMEX cannot directly improve the farmers market access condition or the degree of the competition in the assembly markets. However, if the COMEX can be successfully introduced, it is likely to attract the new firms into the market, which may contribute to greater competitions among traders at the various stages of the value chain and improve the farmers market access condition. So as new entrants enter food markets, they compete away the rents that dominant traders might have enjoyed earlier. Okay. And the ancillary market institution and services required by the commodity exchange. Sinata diha ang settlement services that is most conveniently delivered by commercial banks. It involved transferring funds from the bank account of the buyers to the account of the sellers upon the completion of the transaction. So manang settlement. Napotay collateral management are important for establishing the trust among the market participants that the commodity exchange can honor its contract. So collateral or pwede settlement, muna ilang button sa ancillary. Okay, and of course, that's the problem that the commodity exchange can address. So we have that assignment. Of course, what is a spot market and differentiate the stock exchange from the commodity exchange. Okay, so our subject of our section BC 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D, submit your assignment to the Google Classroom. And of course, that is our references. And that's the end of our discussion for the commodity exchange. And we have that laboratory exercise number 4, commodity exchange. And that is the question. So format of the laboratory activity was uploaded in the Google Classroom. So mo na inyong gamiton. And of course, thank you for viewing this discussion and listening. And of course, hoping that you understand this topic and you will pass our final exam. Thank you everyone and God bless.